Hello, Chris at Arena Studios. Today I'm going to give you my top 5 tips on how to improve your guitar playing. There's a lot of these types of videos on YouTube and most of them have some great valid points. But these are just the fundamentals that you should do, whether it's chord work, whether it's scales, whether it's to get in a band, anything. All these little tips that I'm going to help you out with now are going to make a massive difference to your playing. Okay, so the first thing that you probably need to do is to make sure that your guitar has a decent setup. Take it to a luthier or a music shop. There's normally a guy there that can do this for you. Make sure you get your action set really low, really nice, because that's going to take a lot of the tension out your fingers when you're playing. It's going to make a huge difference on how quick you can play, because obviously if you're fighting the string height of the guitar as well, then it's going to cause problems with synchronization of left hand and pick as well. So make sure that the guitar's set up really, really well. That's the important thing that I would suggest first of all with your instrument. The next thing, number 4 for me, in my top 5, is probably practice in small steps. So if you're trying to put a monster lick or a monster run together, something like that, you're going to find that it's difficult to do to get from the very first note, maybe of a scale, to the very last note of a scale without making a mistake. Shorten the amount of notes that you're trying to practice, put 3 or 4 in and then get those right and then just add 1 note in at a time. Or if you're trying to play a phrase and you want to loop it over and over, say it's a looping lick, something like that, then maybe just look at playing it 3 times. You know, set your target smaller than what your end product is really. If you're looking at trying to produce maybe a riff that you can play at a zillion notes per second for 10 seconds, repetitive riff, then just aim for 3 cycles of the riff really. Look at something like that, you know, make your goals a little bit achievable, and then you'll find that you'll get 5 and 6 repetitions and 10 and so on flawlessly. So again, it's just a case of little baby steps. Is the secret to a lot of guitar playing, is to just make sure you get small bits right and then extend it and extend it again. Number 3 on my list is one of these bad boys. That's me in phrase actually, the month bad boys. I don't know where I got that from, but a practice schedule or a practice log. This really is invaluable. It's like if you go to the gym, you need a gym routine. If you go on a diet, you need to calorie count. You need to watch what you're doing. This type of thing, and you can get these on the internet. It's basically just 7 days a week, morning, afternoon and evening I've got on mine, and I just write in one of the boxes in the morning. If I get the opportunity to practice in the morning, what I'll do is I'll write 10 minutes of practicing open chords, for an easy example, say. And then throughout the course of the day, if I've done that for, throughout the course of the week, sorry, if I've done that for a week, then you're looking at 10 times 7 is 70 minutes on the chords. If I'm doing scale work, anything like that, I always write everything down so that I've got a real good, accurate record of everything that I've been working on. What this does, it gives you motivation. It gives you a little bit of drive as well, because you actually see at the end of a week or 2 all the parts of your playing that get neglected. So it really is quite a crucial thing. I don't do anything without a practice schedule now. It's just so important to do. So check them out. You'll get them on the internet for free. Just put in free PDF practice schedule or practice log and use it, because you'll be pleasantly surprised. What you did the first time I used it, I thought was probably racking up maybe 30 to 40 minutes of scale practice a day. When I actually checked it out during the course of the week, I was faffing about too much, and I ended up doing about 30 or 40 minutes during the course of a week. So it gave me a big kick up my butt really, and made me schedule everything a lot more accurately. So that's one thing that I would do. Number 2, only ever practice as fast as you can play anything perfectly. I'll run that by you again. So whatever you're practicing, play it perfectly. If you can't play it perfectly, or you're going too quick, slow it down to the pace that you can play it perfectly, and then that is the tempo for you to practice it at. So that is probably one of the most important things I can say out of this little list of mine. Slow it down, play it perfectly, and that is the place to practice it. Then when you've practiced for a bit, up your tempo and try and get a little bit more speed. If the quality of what you're playing deteriorates, it's too fast. You should always play perfectly when you're practicing anything. So again, no matter what you're working on, practice it slowly and get it right before you try and add the speed onto it. Okay? And finally, Number one on my list is to add variety. So myself, my own routine, I'm quite fortunate. Obviously, you know, I'm a pro player and I've got the studio, so I've not always been in this position. It was years of graft and hard work and session playing that created the finances and the funds to put me where I am now. And I know I'm very, very privileged to own a studio and work with some fantastic musicians and release records with people. It's brilliant, you know. But again, I was exactly the same as you know, and it's just all come from experience and age. You know, I'm not sort of the youngest person on the block, but I still practice religiously and I still keep a focus on everything that I'm trying to do. And once you learn how to maintain that, you'll find that your guitar gains will fly through the roof. So variety for me is what I tend to do is I go onto something like Spotify or YouTube and I make a little playlist of, say, a blues backing track and a funk backing track and a metal backing track, shred, rock, hard rock, classic rock, anything like that, any genre, jazz. Just get the backing tracks in a nice little playlist, and then when you've done your serious practice log or schedule practice, you've got your routines nailed, reward yourself by playing and trying to apply what you've been practicing into these songs. So what I'll do is probably, I remember a few years ago, one of the easiest things that I did was to get a playlist of A minor. So we've got no sharps or flats in the key of A minor. And I got a blues backing track in A minor, a metal backing track in A minor, a hard rock track in A minor. So I was actually working in just the one key, and I applied all my economy picking, my alternate picking, my legato, any shreddy runs, any pentatonic licks. I worked them all in A minor, and then I kicked the arse out of it all over the fretboard. Once I was confident and I could blast anything in A minor in any style, then I might go to G minor or C major and get the backing tracks accordingly. You've got the resources now out there, so use them. You know, get on Spotify, make a playlist, get on YouTube, make a playlist. It costs you nothing. It costs you nothing to do, but reward your playing after every practice session. So again, practice everything slowly, perfectly. That's the secret, playing it perfectly, and then reward yourself with the jamming over the tracks at the end. The jam is like the reward for you. So I will probably do maybe 25 minutes of scalar economy picking exercises, for an example, and say we stick with A minor. The next thing I will do, I will probably do 25 minutes of the same exercises but legato in A minor. Then after that, that's sort of 50 minutes, which is not a great deal of time if you want to get great on the guitar. I will then reward myself with maybe 25 minutes of playing over 4, 5, 6 tracks over and over, applying the techniques that I've just been working on. Okay, so that is the biggie for me. That's the way to do it. You know, and you've got that variety in the backing tracks, different styles, slightly different techniques, and what that does, it gears you up to, again, giving you motivation to pick the guitar up and to do this on a regular basis. Never ever go more than 48 hours without practicing. It's all about building muscle memory. If you can't get that muscle memory in place by having long breaks, you know, if you sort of practice 5 minutes a day and then you decided to practice 2 hours on a Sunday afternoon, your 2 hours on a Sunday afternoon is just going to be obsolete if you did that once a week. You need to constantly keep doing so. Regular practice, small regular doses is great. If you haven't got a great deal of time, use your practice schedule to actually get everything as efficient and effective and error-free as possible. And then again, just reward yourself with your backing tracks. You really will find that this pushes you along a little bit. I'm going to try and get as many YouTube videos out there. It'd be great if you subscribe to the channel as well, or you go onto the Facebook page which I've got, which is facebook.com/Chris Cragg Music. You can actually follow the studio on Twitter and all that malarkey. You know, all the links are on this page anyway on YouTube. It'd be great to see you. And if you've got any comments or anything like that, just shout out, and if I can help you any way at all, I'll do my best. Okay? Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you soon with some more licks and phrases and possibly the odd song or two and everything that's going on in Arena Studio. Cheers.